We are So Not Straight would like to acknowledge that the recording of this podcast takes place on the unceded traditional territories of the Musqueam, Squamish, and Tsleil-Waututh First Nations.
And now, a quick message from our hosts.
Welcome to our RuPaul's Drag Race All-Stars Season 8 Fantasy League Draft.
Draft.
That's beautiful. Thank you for that. Beautiful echo.
You're welcome.
Oh my goodness. Yes, for those of you who don't know, we are doing a Fantasy League draft. DJ and I are doing a Fantasy League draft for All-Stars 8. We both picked 6 performers each, so we basically got half of the cast on both of our teams, and we are competing to see who's going to end up with the winner on their team.
That is the point.
Yeah.
So last week's episode, I'll give the obligatory spoiler warning. It's like 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Michaela lost Mrs. Kasha Davis.
I did. I lost another one, y'all. This is not going well for me. No. Damn. Okay, DJ and I were talking about this. I picked every single performer who could not sew.
And last week was a ball.
How? How did I manage to do that?
Your luck, I guess.
Dumb.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Who was in the bottom with her? Darian?
Yes. Because I had the top performer with Jessica.
And then
I had
Heidi should have won.
And then I had the 2 bottoms. So I had the top and the bottom last week.
I definitely think either Darian or Kasha could have gone home. Because, I mean, Kasha's look was bad. But her other 2 were so good. And Darian's were just kind of like fives across the board.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I feel like it could have been either one.
How did we feel about the winning lip sync?
Oh, I called it. It was Raja.
Yeah, it was Raja. Oh my gosh, DJ has been 2 for 2 on calling who it was going to be.
I have a feeling next week is going to be Georgia's because they were short.
I know. I saw that. I was like, they're short, and then I was like, who's short? And then I was like trying to think about it. Georgia's is a good one. That would be interesting.
Georgia's. Also, I feel like that wig. I feel like Georgia's would wear that wig.
Yes, but anyways, how did you feel about the lip sync?
Not great.
Right? I felt that it was just mediocre. And for like Raja, to bring Raja back and then have like, I felt like we were in a Cameron situation again where we were just getting a good lip sync assassin with a bad song. And I was like,
that's what we talk about today. It's like, but not in like a good way. Like, it was like the boom clap. If you remember, the song was boom clap. And it's like the song. I love Kim Petras. I am a Kim Petras apologist, like to a fault. And I love Coconuts, but they cut it weird and just.
It just wasn't it.
Yeah.
It was just not. Don't get me wrong. I'm the same boat. I like Kim Petras. I like the song Coconut. But it just isn't a good song to lip sync to. I'm sorry. I don't see it.
Do you have any overall thoughts on All Stars 8? Because I'm seeing some of them start to emerge on like Twitter and Reddit.
Overall thoughts? I think there's a few performers who are there to win, and you can tell they're there to win based off of their runways and based off of their performances in challenges. But I honestly don't fully see a like standout right now. That's where I'm kind of at. I feel like we're kind of nicely kind of just at the meh situation. Yeah. And I feel like eventually we need to have like a, sorry, for people who can't see me, I just did like a almost roller coaster thing with my hand. I keep forgetting that people can't see us. And then I'm like, oh, I should tell them what I'm doing. So yeah, But I feel like we need like more of like a roller coaster where we have some ups and downs because right now I feel like we're just at a meh.
Well, I mean, we had a down. Kasha Davis's maid look. that was joining LaLaRie's bag look in the. If she doesn't get the golden boot for that, I don't know if they're
Can
doing
we just
that for
talk
all
about the
stars.
fact that Lala made an actual outfit?
Lala made an outfit.
We
Thank
love
God.
that.
Praise the Lord. But yeah, I think. I mean, I have the same thoughts on All Stars 8, so it's kind of it for this one. It's a meh period, folks.
Yeah.
And the crowd goes mild.
And with that, let's get into the episode. Also, if you want to hear more about our draft, then tune in next week so you can hear if I lose another one or if maybe DJ will catch up with me and end up losing one. We'll see. We'll find
I
out.
don't think so.
Whatever. We'll find out. So let's get into
Whatever, major
Oh my
loser.
God. Not that. Okay, let's get into this week's episode. Welcome to We Are So Not Straight,
The podcast where two drag sisters talk about everything curvy, swervy, and crooked.
We are your hosts, Michaela.
And DJ.
And we are so happy you're tuning in. Who knows what that sounded like?
That time.
Did we actually?
Yeah.
Last week we were way off, so I'm not sure anymore.
I don't know. At this point. Anyway, but we are so happy to be back with another episode of Season 3.
Yes, but before we get into that episode, we just want to clarify a couple of things.
First off, we just want to say whenever we talk about drag or the art of drag, it is just that, an art.
Yeah, and all forms of art are valid, so that means that all drag is valid. But if we are talking about someone's drag or someone's art, it's based off of a competition standpoint or something around those lines and is not a representation of their actual art. And yeah, that's what I was trying to say.
Yeah, and secondly, all opinions stated on this podcast are our opinions and our opinions alone.
Yes. Oh my gosh, DJ, I am so excited about this week's episode.
You Canadian people.
I'm excited
for Stony.
I was about to say, so we have the incredible Stony Mac on our podcast this week. And for those of you who don't know who Stony Mac is, then that's really sad and you should know who Stony Mac is. But anyways, Stony Mac is an incredible drag artist who is actually on season 2 of Call Me Mother. And we absolutely adore him, and we are so glad that he is back on the podcast.
It worked.
It worked. We got him back. We're actually talking about a really interesting topic, I think, today. We are talking about a little show in Canada called Degrassi. For those of you who are not Canadian, I'm so very sorry. But for those of you who are Canadian, you will probably know of Degrassi or have heard of Degrassi if you have not seen it. But we are talking about a very specific character today, right, DJ?
Mm-hmm. His name is Adam, and we just wanted to give kind of a quick little. Not a quick little, several trigger warnings for these episodes, because I just do it all. These 2 episodes just... It's everything that's wrong with the world in these 2 episodes.
So we just want to give a quick trigger warning for multiple things. The first thing is homophobia, extreme homophobia, and extreme transphobia. That is a big, big thing in this episode. Slurs, everything, all of those things. It is all mentioned in this episode, so please understand that there are mentions of those 2 things, as well as there is mention of self-harm and also a conversation about self-harm in this episode as well, so please be aware of that. I think that pretty much covers it. There is like some mention of violence, and there is some mention of, this is one thing that we do need to mention. In the episode, there is conversation of a dead name that is used for the character. It is actually used in the episode to represent the character being dead named, so we will be using that name only in the context of
the
this
character, this fictional
being dead named. in the show. So that is the only time that we'll be using that. Please understand it is not okay to dead name anybody, and please respect people's pronouns, people's names, everything. Please just be respectful and understand that we are only doing this in the context of the show.
Mm-hmm. And with that being said, I think that's everything. So I'm actually really excited for this interview because Stony is back. If not, I would just be sitting here falling asleep listening to Michaela talk about Canadian land for an hour and a half. And that's
yes, but we do have Stony back, so let's get into the episode.
Alrighty, everyone. Welcome to this part of the podcast. We are joined by our good Judy, Stony Mac.
What's up?
Hello. Welcome. I love the site. We actually have a studio audience. They're just like really silent and
yeah, they're just a really silent studio audience that just
y'all are great.
Are they clapping for me right now?
yeah,
Oh my God,
obviously.
thank you so much. Oh my God, thank you.
We need like an applause sign. I'll put one in the background.
Right. We need like something in the background. I don't know what. We gotta figure that out. Oh my gosh. But Stony, we are so excited to have you back on the podcast. We are just so excited. I'm like, so excited. That's all I got.
Thank you. I'm excited to be back on the podcast. This is always so much fun every time.
And you look amazing. Like I just
you do.
Putting that out there.
For people who are listening and not looking, first of all, why are you doing that? Because we have a guest and he looks amazing, so why would you not look? But whatever, fine. But Stony looks absolutely incredible. So yeah. Period.
And for this segment, the Canadians. Wow, that was so abrasive. I'm so sorry. Not to like totally fucking disregard everyone, but for this segment, the Canadians are at it again, and Stony picked Degrassi.
Yay!
I had no, but yeah.
Okay, so Stony and I both like love and adore Degrassi and have seen every single season and every single episode. So that's really great for us Canadians over here. DJ has only seen the episodes that we're talking about today because DJ didn't know what Degrassi was until I mentioned it. So
and the
that's
episodes
super
are like
fun.
Blocked in the US. Like
they are. Oh my gosh.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so all the episodes are on YouTube. Fun facts for everybody. If anybody wants to go watch Degrassi, go check it out. It's fantastic. So go do it.
It's probably on
unless you're not in Canada, in which case I don't know if you can get it, but in the States, DJ can't get into the YouTube channel that has all the Degrassi episodes on it.
Wow.
Isn't that weird?
I was like going on with all the other trends happening right now. It doesn't surprise me, but I still think that is so dumb. Like,
I don't know.
But it's okay. We found a way around it. It was fine. No biggie. All good. And DJ has now seen the episodes, and I am really excited about the episodes that Stony picked because I actually have a connection with the actor who plays the specific character we're talking about. So we are going to be talking about the specific story of Adam Torres, who is a female-to-male transgender individual who comes to Degrassi. And we're actually going to be wow, English? What is that? Words? We're actually going to be talking about the first 2 episodes where you get to meet Adam. And Adam is played by Jordan Todesy, or Jordy Todesy, who I actually got to meet. It's actually a fun story, which I'm going to rant a little bit because I'm
all right, so here's the part where you take your meds, go get a snack, drink water, let your pets out.
No, tell me the story. I want to hear it all.
Okay, so basically, Jordy Todesy was on a show called Between after Degrassi. It was a short-lived show, sadly. But anyways, it was this show, and I was obsessed with the show for multiple reasons, but mostly because Jordy was on it. And fun story before that, Jordy was actually the reason that I wanted to become an actor. I saw her in Life with Derek. She played Lizzie on Life with Derek, for people who didn't know that. I saw her on Life with Derek, and I remember I pointed at the TV and I said to my mom, I said, I want to do that. And it was at the point when she was playing Lizzie on the TV. So from then on, I was like, totally anything that she did, I watched. And so she was on this show called Between. They had a contest where it was basically like you could go get flown to Toronto and go to like the behind the scenes kind of set of Between, where you got to watch an episode with some of the cast, and I got to ask like questions to the cast. It was super cool. Anyways, they basically wrote like, why would you want to go to this thing? And I wrote that both Samantha Monroe, who plays Anya on Degrassi, as well as Jordy, I had been watching them forever, and that I would love to meet them. I thought it would be really cool to be able to meet them. So I got flown out to Toronto, and the fun fact about it was actually I didn't know that Jordy was going to be there. I hadn't checked her Snapchat. I checked her Snapchat all the time because I just liked to see what she was doing. And the one day I didn't check her Snapchat was the day we were going to the set. And had I checked her Snapchat, she had put a thing saying, headed to the between set. And I didn't check it. So because I didn't check it, I didn't know. And when I walked into like the main room, she was standing right there. And I lost it. I like almost cried. And then she came and gave me like a giant hug. She was the sweetest person ever, like literally one of the sweetest people in the entire world. And then I also got to meet Samantha Monroe the same night. So I met both of them the same night. And it was just like something I'll never forget. Like it was so cool. She like talked to me about acting. She played with my hair. I tried kombucha for the first time because she was drinking it and asked me if I wanted to try it. Like, it was just the whole thing. So anyways, I like absolutely adore her, and she made that experience so cool. So the fact that you wanted to talk about Adam just made me like so excited.
I'm loving those different events. You drank kombucha with her. She touched your hair. I'm like, these are memorable moments. Like,
well, other funny thing was I got gum in my hair the day before, and we spent like 4 hours trying to get the gum out of my hair. So that was fun.
Wait,
but we did it, and it was
trying
fine.
to get gum out of your hair?
No.
Oh, okay.
No, my mom did.
Why she was touching your hair?
Yeah, it's not why she was touching your hair. No, it was. I literally was. I got off of the plane
See, you got something.
Yeah, you got something in your hair. No, I got off the plane from Toronto to Vancouver to Toronto, and there was the big gum wall outside of Toronto Airport, and I was admiring the gum wall. I wasn't near the gum wall. I was admiring the gum wall.
Always put your hair up.
No. I backed up, and there was a pillar behind me, and someone had put gum on the pillar behind me. One piece of gum, and I happened to run into it.
They just wanted to take part. They just wanted to be part of something.
Yeah.
Like.
Yeah. So, anyways, we spent 4 hours trying to get it out of my hair. Finally got it out of my hair.
Michaela.
It's fine.
Only Michaela. It's one thing on a fucking pillar, and Michaela would be one to be like, boop-a-doop-a-doo, like fucking Daphne from Scooby-Doo.
I was being so good, too. I avoided the wall completely, and then just backed right into a piece of gum that was on a different pillar. So.
That's like such a cartoon character like moment.
Yep.
Like they avoid being crushed by an anvil, but then they walk into like a bear trap or something.
But yes, anyways, that's my story about how I met Jordy Tadasi and how much I absolutely adore her. And so, yeah, I'm very excited to get into this episode.
All right, let's bring back our studio audience for the actual podcast. So, for if someone has never seen it, like me, or has only seen a couple episodes, can you give like a brief rundown on Degrassi? Just what it is. Tell us about it.
Oh my gosh. So, Degrassi is a Canadian television show that focuses on a slice of life of preteens and teenagers as they experience changes and go into adulthood. They go deeply into ideas of like trauma and a lot of like more serious things that kids leading into their adulthood could go through, and like the aftermath as they get into their adulthood. Yeah, that's the summary I would say.
That's a good summary. That's a
good one.
Did you ever have to write a book report and they would have to be like, "Where's your fucking thesis?" And I'd be like, "That's a good thesis. Like that's a good book report."
Oh my gosh, I read
that was better than what I was gonna say.
Like
your thesis, like I stand here today in the light of the class of 2027. Like,
oh my god.
No, that was.
I'm done
that
school.
was way better
I will
than
never
what I
write
would
another
have
paper
said.
again.
Oh my god, school fucking sucks.
Yeah, no.
Now the kids have Chat GPT. You can fucking do anything. It's
Really
great.
bad.
Back in my day, we had personal computers and had to type everything.
Back in my day, we just had stuff. We just wrote on the board.
Did y'all ever have the cuneiform? Did y'all ever have like a papyrus? I had to write mine on that. I don't know about y'all. We had
Oh my
clay.
gosh.
But
Alright.
speaking of time period, Degrassi is very 2000s.
Well, yeah,
Like-
so it's well, what did we figure? It was 2012 when season
2012.
10 came out? Was that what we said?
That would make sense, but I could.
I feel like that.
But it sounds.
I feel like it's around that.
Yeah.
That sounds right.
Stony Mac is a liar. We're exposing
Oh,
him
no,
on
shh, don't
set.
tell anybody. It's a secret.
Oh my gosh. But yeah, so we're gonna be talking about the part 1 and part 2 of My Body is a Cage from season 10. I believe it is episode 15 and 16. And yeah, we're gonna get into it. So we start the first episode with an introduction to our main character, Adam, as well as the family members that we know of at the time, which is Adam's mother as well as Adam's brother Drew. And they're inside the car talking about going to this new school, and Adam expresses that he doesn't want to be in what is it? Remedial?
like-
What is it?
Remedial.
Yeah.
Remedial.
Yeah,
See,
like,
I can't
like
say the
the
word.
dumb kid section, I guess. For
Yeah,
lack of a
anyways,
better
remedial-
term.
Yeah, it's phrased politely in school, but like if anything's like
I struggle to
remedial,
read.
it's,
Like,
remedial reading. Yeah.
Yeah, so
Literally
remedial
anywhere.
PE, where they're going to be doing ballroom dancing, which obviously, like, you would, I mean, I'd want to do, but I guess Adam doesn't want to do. And yeah, so we're in this conversation, and basically, Adam's mom isn't too sure about switching him over to the other gym, which is what he's been asking about, and also says that if anybody was to find out at the school, then that would be like terrible and awful and whatever.
I mean, okay, I have like a point. I get where like the mom is coming from, and yeah, it's like 2012. But like, yes, homophobia is still alive and well. But like with like 7th graders and stuff, I feel like no one cares. You know? Like
I believe Adam
I,
is
like-
in 9th grade, though. Or 10th grade? Is he in 10th grade?
10th grade. I
Because
feel
he's
like it's
transferred from another high school, I believe.
well, it's the same as Claire. So Claire would
Yeah.
be 10 because Eli was 11.
That would make sense because 2015 was the year that I don't like to talk about with Adam. I'm pretty sure. Yeah. So it would have been grade 10. Yeah.
Grade 10.
Sorry, we just had to get that out there. Clear the air.
I love that I had to go into Claire and Eli in order for me to figure out which one it was. I was like same age as
No.
Claire, so Claire is okay. We got it. Don't worry
DJ
about
in the
it.
corner, like confused.
the faces are not matching the ages. Eli is like, oh my god, my voice just cracked. Eli is like 6'2" and like has an Adam's apple and is like, I'm an 11th grader. Howdy, fellow youth.
You know-
like,
I will say it's better than they do in Hollywood, where they make their teenagers 30. At least their teenagers
Yeah.
are like 18, trying to be 15. Like,
fair. Fair. But also the 2000s vibe just doesn't help with that because it's like, I don't know. Anyway, so okay, where are we? So, oh yeah. Okay, so
I
we
didn't
had
know
a
the
bullet
diss
point.
track of
in this
Degrassi. Jeez.
Listen, I'm just putting it out there. Would I watch the full series? No, so that's where I'm coming from. So I will be ranting intermittently. But if you like what you like, that's cool too. Peace, love, and acceptance.
You're like, no yuck and yums here. Like,
Yeah, literally
Nah,
now. Oh my gosh.
Don't knock
Okay,
it till you
go
tried
on,
it. And I
DJ.
tried it.
DJ, just go on.
Okay, so did y'all have like a complicated coming out or transition? Because I know I came out of the womb with like fake nails on, but like, how about y'all?
yeah, I mean, I know for me, I grew up in a very conservative family, but also a very quiet family. So I didn't really have any clue how they would react to anything that I would come out as. Because like I only technically ever I only ever came out as trans to my family. And I wrote a letter and I put it on their bed of my parents' bed and I ran away from home. And I left for the whole day until I got a text message and all my dad responded was, "It's okay. Please come home." And that was the only thing we ever talked about, like ever to this day. Like that's about it. Like, so it was kind of I think it worked out. I don't know. It was a weird situation for me.
Yeah, no, I love that you just ran away. You were like,
Yeah.
I'm just gonna put this here and come out. I'm out. Bye. No, I
Make
love
some
that.
effort and then run.
Michaela,
Yeah,
what about you?
literally. For me, I don't think it was difficult, but I was closeted for a very long time just because it wasn't that I didn't feel comfortable, it was just that I just didn't feel the need to come out.
Mhm.
I feel like that's where I was at. And also I went to an art school where like majority of the people were out, so I was like,
not Miss
I'm gonna
Liberal
be the
Arts.
awkward one who's not. No, but basically I just
Where are
felt
your blue
that
hair and pronouns? Get
well,
the
I
fuck
just
out.
felt that I didn't fit in with the this sounds terrible. I didn't fit in with the gay crowd
Mhm.
in my school. And I felt like I was gonna kind of get lumped into, being with them and all that stuff, and I just wasn't there. So in high school, I was fully closeted. It was actually funny. I played a lesbian in a play, and one of the
They were
people
like,
made a
you're a little
comment.
too good at this.
Well, no, so
Smell it.
basically the person who was my like counterpart was out to the school, everybody knew. And she was playing the straight and I was playing the gay. So the joke was that the straight was playing the gay and the gay was playing the straight. But the funny fact was actually the gay was playing the gay and the gay was playing the straight because they didn't know. Um, so I kind of kept that to myself. And then after high school, I came out to some of my friends, but I didn't tell my family. I just kind of kept it to everybody, just to my little circle. And then I was talking about doing drag with my mom because I had been obsessed with drag and I loved it and talking about it. And my mom goes, "Well, isn't that for gay people?" And I said,
And you were like,
"Well," I was like, "Well, not fully, but
Your
yeah."
mom smelled
And
it.
then
I
my
mean,
mom goes,
wrong
"Wait,
wording, but she was like,
no,
isn't
but
that
well,
for
no, literally." And then she goes, and then she looks me straight in the face and she goes, "Are you gay?" And I was like, "Kind of." Like, at that point, I didn't know where I was on the spectrum, so I was just kind of like, "Yes, no, I'm not sure. Sure, maybe." And then yeah, and then it just kind of slowly started coming out to people, and then eventually, because it was the pandemic and I was tired of being in the closet, I put it out on social media.
Oh, cute.
And that was the end of that. But yeah, that was my
So,
story.
yeah. Michaela loves the story.
Mhm.
I love stories.
So, back to the episode. Oh god, this is gonna be a long one. So Adam is in the gym class and this girl's name is Bianca, and she's exactly what you think a Bianca like would be. Like
Yeah.
Bianca Del Rio, but like with hoops.
Bianca Del Rio, but with hoops.
But less homophobic and less drag queeny. um,
Oh my
like this
gosh.
girl, oof. Like, anyway. But so yeah, Adam has a crush on this girl, and this is like very important. Like, keep that in mind.
But yeah, so like BJ said, Adam has a crush on Bianca. They seem to be kind of hitting it off. They go back to like talking at the lockers, and Adam, at that point we don't know what happens because Adam just kind of all of a sudden is just like, I gotta go, and it just like runs around the corner. But yeah, so anyways, he grabs the metal tin out of the locker, turns, ends up running into Claire, and drops the tin, and tampons spill all over the floor, which now Claire has now seen these tampons on the floor and is like,
She
why do you have these? You know, because
That's
everybody is like, Adam's a guy. Why does Adam have tampons? And this whole thing, and it's
What's going
You
on
what
never
here?
know.
Whoa.
You can dip tampons in
whoa.
alcohol and butt chug them.
There's a reason.
None of their
Anyways, you know. But yeah, anyway, so they're picking up the tampons, and Fitz and Owen, who are part of Bianca's crew, come over and they're like, "Oh, what do you have there?" And Adam, trying to avoid basically being outed, is like, "Claire, pick up your pick up your stuff. That's gross." And Claire plays along, which like shows the friendship between Adam and Claire. I'm just saying, love it,
Talk,
love
Valentina.
it.
Ally. Yeah,
But yeah,
it's a very it's a moment. But again, why were the tampons like 2 inches? Anyway,
I love the
me
drama.
not liking an hour and a half. So then, let's see, where am I? So then it's the next day. Adam's getting ready. He puts on his binder, which again is important, and it's still ballroom dancing in gym. And in like a little like break or like a lunch period or something, Adam officially comes out to Claire and Emo Dude, because they
Eli.
are.
His name
I'm
is
calling him Emo
Eli.
Dude. Claire officially comes out to them, and they're like, they have a
No,
couple.
Claire doesn't do anything. You just called Adam Claire. Good one.
Listen,
You're doing your best,
there are
sweetie.
I'm trying, okay?
I was
Listen,
like, Claire comes out to who? I'm like, where'd that
Claire
come
comes
from?
out to Noah Nick.
So Claire isn't
So
the ally.
Adam comes out. I'm coming out.
Claire really was an ally at that point. Just saying.
But Adam comes out to Claire and Eli, and they're like, "Yeah, cool."
Literally, I think Eli says like, "Cool."
Yes.
Yeah.
And that's like the end.
The most 2015
It's like-
response. Nice.
Yeah, he's like, you know that meme
Great.
of like the lady with all the math and equations around her head? That was Eli before like putting out a singular word.
Oh, 100%.
It took so much thought.
I also appreciated that when Claire, like, basically Adam like came out and then was like, "You can ask me any questions," like kind of thing, and Claire was like, "Okay, well, are you straight? Are you gay?" And then I was like, "No, because I'm a guy and I like girls, so I'm
I think.
straight, I think." And I was like, "Okay, accurate." And
They did
then
it. They got there. 1 plus
But
1
it's
Well,
really funny
literally.
though, because like that kind of statement is so accurate in like the trans mass community, or like I feel like in any of the trans community. Like I have friends right now who are like trans men, and they are in straight relationships, and they're like, I think am I straight? I think I don't know. Like am I? It's kind of just an overarching question, which I think is pretty funny.
Right? I thought it was a funny response, and I appreciated the fact that they also went through the conversation of Claire being like, "Well, but how do you know that you're not like gay or lesbian?" And then Adam just said, "Because I just do. I know."
Preach.
I also
Yeah.
like that Eli said, like, when did you know? And not like, when did you become, quote unquote, for everyone listening. I was like, thank God.
That's some good
I
scripting
love
here.
inclusive language. Like, yay.
Sometimes Degrassi does a good job. Sometimes they kind of like about certain topics, but in this regard, they did a pretty good job.
It's like
Oh
a
my
soap
God,
opera,
speaking
you
of
know?
certain topics,
It's a
there's a
teenage
B
soap
plot.
opera.
There's a B plot where this girl's mom gets cancer, and the acting is just like, I can't laugh
You
because
gotta
her
live for
mom
the
has
drama.
cancer. But like,
If
girl.
people like
That's
Glee, I'm allowed to like
okay,
Degrassi,
Anya.
okay? If people are allowed
Oh
to
my God,
like those
Michaela
medical
fucking likes
shows,
Glee.
I can like Degrassi.
Now I have to watch Glee. I also
Yeah,
have to watch Grey's
oh my
Anatomy.
gosh. So fun fact, I said to DJ, I was like, "Okay, you can either watch Grey's Anatomy or Degrassi. I'm
Yeah,
fine with
yeah.
either."
Period.
And then DJ was like, "Grey's Anatomy." And I was like, "Okay, but what about Degrassi?" And then DJ was like, "I'd watch Glee instead of Degrassi." And I was like, "I'll take it." I'll take
Because
it.
I notoriously hated Glee. I was like,
See, I also kind of did too.
Sorry, Michaela, it's 2-1. Get your torch and leave the
But in
island.
my defense, my only episode I ever watched was the one where they were trying to sing about Jesus and trying to convert the
See,
lesbian
that's
girl
not
to Jesus.
fair.
That's all I
See,
know.
that's not fair. That's not fair, Stony.
It's
You have
very
to
fair.
actually watch
That's what was
it.
on TV when I turned it on.
Yeah,
That's
you
the
have
one
to
episode
actually watch it before you judge it.
We tried it and we can knock it all we want, okay?
Anyways, back to the
God.
story. Segues.
Yeah, so Bianca literally assaults Adam. This is a fun moment to come back into. Yeah, it happens and it's uncomfortable to watch.
Well, and
it's
it's
meant to be uncomfortable to watch.
literally, I think the way that it was made was meant to be uncomfortable. Yeah, so basically, like I was saying, so Adam and Bianca are flirting at the locker, and again, we have lots of locker scenes at this point. Anyways, they're flirting, and Bianca says something about like you're not my type, and then Adam says, "Well, I think I could be
He's
your
like
type."
27 and he's like 13.
Well, I think I could be your type or whatever. And Bianca kind of goes to like playfully push him away and pushes on his chest and realizes that there's something different about this kind of area on him and is like, you're too skinny to have, I think she says, you're too skinny to have man boobs or something like that.
Yeah.
Anyways, ends up pushing him all the way and then rips open his shirt in front of like the entire hallway.
Ew,
Which
press charges. Jail.
I can't. It just I know that DJ said like uncomfortable is not the right word, but like I was uncomfortable because it's
It's meant
so
to be. Yeah. Like, it's
literally.
Not, like, it would be comfortable to the person experiencing that. So why would we as viewers, if we felt comfortable watching it, that would be almost more of a problem. Be like, yeah, that's okay.
Yeah, exactly.
Like,
Yeah, go get help.
But yeah, and that's Ugh, Bianca. Ugh.
I hate this bitch.
learning
And
to
Michaela
do.
was like, just keep watching. And I'm like, no. I will
I
drive
didn't
Lewis
say
in the heights through
what
the
I
fucking
said.
pavement.
I'm
Don't
going
threaten
to
me.
state what I said. These were the exact words I said. I said, if you keep watching the series, you will understand where Bianca comes from.
Yes.
This does not excuse what she did, but you would understand some more of her background. And that is what I said. Thank you very much.
Those statements are all true, but I'll still say I never actually liked her, so.
Yeah,
I didn't either. There was only one point that I felt bad for her, and that was it.
So Adam also goes to use the men's restroom, but the Owen and the other one
Fitz.
literally
Fitz and
like
Owen.
throw him against like a glass, throw him out of there. Ew! Press charges.
Fully throw. Like they pick him up and toss him into the door.
Also, Michaela, I think I know why it broke so easily. It was probably like prof glass.
Well, yeah, no, duh.
No, you can throw people against like glass.
DJ said while we were watching the episode, DJ goes, "Why did that glass break so easily?"
I was like, yeah, why did it break like that? Like, cause the shit, it's like wired glass. That shit's supposed to like stop a bullet. So, you know, I love schools.
I love schools. That was very specific, DJ.
And then Adam's brother gets like this, cause he's a straight man and he thinks he can do anything. He goes to fight the Owen and the other one, and it's like
Fitz.
the weakest fight.
His name is Fitz.
Oh, that's like the most fuckboy name I've ever heard.
I know. His name is Fitz, and I told you while we were watching the episode that this is not the first time you see him be
for your child to have like
an asshole.
Penis. Anyway, not speaking from experience or anything there, but like this fight scene is like, it's not even a fight scene. It's like, yeah, and it's just like, like, and the kids standing on the side. When a fight broke out in my high school, everyone was there, and everyone was fucking like, beat her ass, Maddie, she stole your boyfriend, you know? But like this fight, the people on the side were just kind of standing there like,
just watching. Like,
And they're like, ah.
like, oh no, what a travesty. Like, anyway,
I I'm finding it so interesting listening to DJ's perspectives on these things because like I feel like as a person who's like watched the entire series and like who loves the series, it's so interesting to see someone's outside perspective on it because I think I have blinders on for how much I love it.
No, I agree. I'm in the
You have
same
blinders
boat. But also, it's a soap
literally for
opera. It's just a
Glee.
teenage high school soap opera. Like,
That's what
Literally,
it
I
that's what I
love
is.
it.
said.
Literally for Glee, I was sitting there like wanting to toast her bathtub, and Michaela was like, "Just keep watching, it's so good." And I was like, "They're doing a
I
horrible
did
job
say
of
that.
Glee."
I said that several times. I did that with Grey's Anatomy too. I was like, just keep watching, you'll like it. I don't know why.
Anyways, I've talked enough. Does someone else want to take over the script?
Yeah, I'll take over. Sorry. Wait, where are we at? Oh, fights. I got it. Don't worry about it. I got it. Don't worry. Yeah, so anyways, after this fight breaks out, we end up going into the principal's office and they're talking about what they can do in order to, you know, make Adam feel more safe at Degrassi. And Adam's mom is having none of it. Adam's mom is like, we're gonna have to transfer you, like this whole thing. And Adam's like, no, I transferred to Degrassi to get a whole new start. That's not fair, kind of thing. But I also don't think, I mean, I don't know if you guys agree with me, but I think the ideas that they came up with were a little, I don't even know what to explain. Like, just they were not good ideas. Like, the fact that Adam would have someone walking with him to classes and then him using the handicap washroom.
Yeah, like it's
Sorry,
definitely like
but
a solution that's easy for the school, but like
Yeah,
ultimately it doesn't actually solve the problem. It just others the student to all the other students. It makes it more
yeah.
dangerous.
that's what I wrote. I was like, it's so alienating and just like it almost makes the person like look and feel like not human. It's like also like the handicap bathroom is there for like the handicapped people. Like
Also,
why do other people
can I just say the handicap
sorry.
bathroom is usually always locked in schools too, so you have to have a teacher come with you to the bathroom to unlock it to use it.
Well, they
Or
gave
it's
him
the
they gave him a
nurseable
key, and
bathroom.
it was like a key with a little handicap
But that
thingy
would
on it. And I was
require
like,
you to have to out yourself to your staff by saying, I need this
literally.
key to use this handicap bathroom because I can't use the men or women's bathroom. You know?
Just let the people use the fucking bathroom. It's
Just
the
let
fucking
people
bathroom.
pee. God.
Like, for the love of God. Yeah, it's called the bathroom for a reason. Go and do your business and go out, or like suck a dick or something. I don't know, but
Just
just
go
like,
piss
why are you
this. Like, why does it
angry?
matter?
Exactly. Go pee. Go piss, girl.
I think
I
it
say
was
that
also
every time someone
important to
asks me
note
that.
something that we forgot at the beginning part when we were talking about the ballroom conversation. Adam says something about how all the teachers know that he is transgender, but that the ballroom teacher, because he was a teacher who had just come into the thing, didn't. And actually, we forgot to mention that in the ballroom class, at the first time when they're doing attendance, the ballroom teacher actually dead names Adam
Yes.
on the attendance. And then that was like the first. I thought Bianca would have figured it out at that point because they like fully dead named
Yeah, I
with
know.
Adam's last name. And then Bianca turns and is like, "Isn't your last name Torres?" And then Adam just doesn't say anything. And then the teacher finally finds the right thing. And he's like, "Oh, Adam Torres. Sorry, I had the wrong list." And I'm like, "Well, you just outed him to everybody, so thanks for that." Like,
I do find it
Great.
kind of funny that in this episode, they take every single possible stereotype that could happen to a trans person and they throw it all into one F of 30 minutes. And it's like, here's some more trauma. Like,
I
just
have
throw it
that in the
all
note,
in.
and I'm like, and Michaela and I were talking about this. We were like, it literally is just every single fucking thing that the writers could just cram into these 22.5 minute episodes.
all or nothing.
It's like, can I breathe? Shit, can
No.
you please get your foot off my neck? Like, damn.
Literally that.
So yeah, this is bad, and like the mother literally also just is like all the wrong things here. The mother is constantly misgendering and dead naming Adam, and it's just like just says like all the wrong things that further alienate like trans people. We thought the mom would be like cute and like, oh, I'm sorry, like use wrong pronouns, like I'll like try harder, but
Ally, right?
no. Yeah, no,
No.
she is not Claire. Literally half of the characters, I was like, could we just hit them with a bus like really quick? Like
You gotta watch a couple more episodes.
That's what I was gonna say too.
But I already bought the bus.
I was literally about to say, well, I think you gotta watch a couple more seasons because there's something that happened.
That's so funny. I'm sorry, we just had a moment.
Oh my god, holy shit.
DJ didn't even clue in. You and I were both freaking out, and he's like, "What? What's going on?"
Well, it wasn't a bus. It was like a mid-size SUV. Was it a bus?
No.
It was a bus.
No. Wait. We're talking about you gotta watch a couple more episodes of the show.
No, are we talking about when a certain character is at a certain summer
Well,
camp?
that was a van, but
Oh, okay. Oh,
there was something to do with a bus.
Okay, I'll Google it later. Never mind. Who gets hit by a butt? Tell me after. Okay. So Adam walks to class and runs into Claire and I wrote Claire and Adam instead of Claire and Eli.
Claire and Emo?
Adam runs into Claire. Adam runs
into himself, and the end.
This is now an MCU film where there are clones of people. So they have like a little heart-to-heart moment, and they're like, "Who the fuck is following you around the hallways?" And they're like, "Oh, the civics teacher," who is like the only other black person in the show. I'm just like pointing that out. It was just an interesting thing. So then, there are a lot of wait, what?
No, I was gonna be like, was that like I'm wondering in Degrassi in the newer seasons, are there many more people of color in the show?
No, it's just like it was like
in the newer one. There's a few.
A few. Oh yeah, we got a few.
I'm like thinking. I'm like, well, no, but like I'm trying to think. Like I can see two off the top of my head.
I can also see a couple.
I know there's more. I just can't think.
You're really think about this show that I love so much here, DJ. Like,
well, the reason that DJ was saying that is that in the title sequence of this season, Melinda, who plays Allie, is the only person of color.
And they put her at the end of the fucking thing. No, it's like, oh, the token black girl.
No, it's because she has a lot to do with the season. What they did in the Degrassi things, I'm not going to include this in the thing, but I'll tell you. What they did in the title sequences of Degrassi is that whoever is the person who has like the most storyline in the season has the Degrassi logo on the back of their outfit, and they're the ones who walk into the school, and they're the last ones to be shown in the title sequence. So you always know. Yeah, so you always know who's going to have, like, the main storyline of the season, because they're the ones who are the person with the thing on the back.
Okay.
Anyways, fun stories.
Little fun facts over here.
Again, I've talked a lot and my throat is hurting, Michaela.
Well, okay, well, don't talk. I'll talk. It's fine. Are you just gonna leave? Okay, bye. DJ. See? Told you, professional.
I'm moving on.
My life. And moving on, we're just gonna go on without him. No. Okay, sit down. Thank you. Okay. Yeah, anyways. So when Adam runs into Eli and Claire in the hall, he ends up saying to them that he's actually going to introduce his grandma to Adam at the family dinner that they're having later in the evening. And Eli says, well, aren't you afraid of her having a heart attack? And he goes, Eli said, and then Adam stands up and he goes, well, I am now. And then walks off. Like, Eli, why would you put that into his brain? Like, that's dumb. Dumb things.
I mean, Granny did look like she was on life support. She was a little...
Just a reader from film.
Listen, I've seen many old people in my day. Some people I walk by and I'm like, where is your life alert? Like, are you okay? Like, should you
Oh
be
my
driving?
god.
It's like the mummy
Anyways,
back from the grave. And I'm like
Jesus.
our HR lady.
Anyways, um, so then we are brought into a situation with Adam's mom and Adam, and they're looking for shirts to wear to the dinner. And Adam like picks up like a couple of like flannel outfits and is like, "What about this shirt?" And then his mom kind of just like shrugs and is like, "No." And then she ends up picking up a
A
white like
midsummer looking
Good,
blouse.
nice
girly
story.
blouse. Yeah, and
Blouse or dress?
basically being like, it's a
It's a
blouse.
blouse.
Oh, okay, okay.
It's a
Ross is
blouse.
on a top. He's a blouse. Sorry.
Anyways, and Adam basically kind of just says to his mom, like, I'm actually going to introduce Grams to Adam tonight. And his mom says, well, then don't come to dinner. Like,
Uh,
I'm sorry, what? Why? How? I'm sorry.
It's such a struggle because it's like with parents like that, it sounds so ridiculous, like seeing the mom and being just like, how could you be this like dumb and not supporting your child? But then you realize like how real this type of mom is in the world, and just like the misconceptions around what being trans is. It's unfortunately accurate. It's sad.
It
yeah,
is.
I was
Well,
like,
sorry, go ahead,
oh my
DJ.
god, sorry. um, no, but I was watching it and I had that exact thought. I was like, oh my god, this bitch is so stupid. Literally, I will drag her. Then I was like, oh no, that's like a real thing. Like real people like
Totally.
it was.
Well, and the thing is,
Kim, there are
we're
people
looking
dying.
at it. Oh, sorry, DJ, go ahead.
I thought it was a Kim, there are people dying moment.
Oh, yeah. Well, and the thing is, we're looking at it in the perspective of us being like very accepting and like, why would that ever happen and whatever and stuff. But you kind of have to look at it and take a step into her shoes in this point too.
I don't
Like,
think I want to.
oh, I don't want to either, but I'm just
Got
saying,
club
in order for
nasty,
you to understand,
person.
stop, DJ. In order to understand kind of where she's coming from and this feeling and stuff like that, we can't understand it because we aren't going through it. We don't know what she's thinking or anything like that either. So, and I think we see that more as the story goes on too with Mrs. Torres's character as well. I think.
Mhm.
I don't know. That's how I feel.
Okay. Yeah, it's a moment, and then the mom kind of like walks off and is like all proud of herself and is like, So yeah, it's then we go to the dinner and it's just no, it's
It's just no. Nice, DJ. Very good explanation. Just
it's
no.
like
The end.
it's a queer get out moment. It's like these these people are like not your vibe, and everyone again like says the wrong things.
Yeah.
It's just the writers were a little too good at their jobs because I was sitting there like, like we don't say that anymore, honey. Like,
I mean, gotta be honest, that kind of dinner kind of resonates with me in the kind of dinners I used to have with my family when I first like came out, and it was not very good. And then I stopped hanging out with all of them, so it's fine now. Yeah, once they
now
were
we
out
have
of my
chosen
life, I was
families.
good to go. But like, damn,
The
those like
end.
my grandparents were just so sad because they can't do anything to stop me going to hell. Like to this day, they like won't look me in the eye because they're like, we know you're going to hell and we can't do anything about it. It's sad and
Yeah, I'm
sucks.
going.
And I'm like, well, that
And what?
sucks.
Oh,
Like,
wow.
sorry.
See you there, girly. I'll save you a seat.
Woo! No,
Um,
I think the important thing is at this point is that we notice at the beginning of this dinner is that Adam is nowhere to be found. It is just the rest of the family. There's no Adam. And then Adam's grandma says something about how I'm gonna use Adam's dead name in the case of this because this is what the conversation is about. So please understand that I'm only using this because it's in the show and not because I am dead naming Adam. Okay, there we go. So basically, the grandmother says like, Gracie always laughs at my jokes, where's Gracie? And then Mrs. Torres goes to say, oh, she's not coming or she wasn't feeling good or whatever. And we see in the background Adam walking into the dinner dressed as Gracie.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Which was like heartbreaking to me. I don't know if it was heartbreaking to anybody else, but it was so heartbreaking to me. Ugh, my heart.
Very
What did we
relatable
feel
stuff.
about I was gonna say, what did we feel about that? Like, I obviously, like, you shouldn't give in to pressure, but I think Adam was feeling such an immense pressure at this point that it was a case of, what do I do? And it was it the right choice? I don't know. What do you think? What do you feel?
I feel like he was really struggling with the difference between a sense of self, like wanting to be himself and wanting to be who his family loves. Because if he becomes himself, he'll no longer have a family that loves him. And that's like his ideology in his head. So it's really scary. Do you want, be true or be loved? Not knowing if there's anything past that point. There is, obviously, but he doesn't know that at the moment. So that's what I feel like is going through his head.
Totally. No, absolutely. DJ, do you have
Yeah.
anything?
It was just, he walked in and it was so sad. And again, the mom says every wrong fucking thing. I mean, the brother too, but the brothers is like, it's not, like, the brothers is just he genuinely doesn't know rather than choosing to say those things. It still
I think
doesn't.
you gotta give Drew a little slack on this one because I think Drew
No,
is
that's what
trying.
I'm saying. It's just
I
like,
think
yeah,
he's out of the entire Torres family. I think he's the one who's actually trying.
that's what I'm saying.
And I mean, we see that when he sticks up for Adam at school. We see that when he basically corrects his mom and like saying like, don't say that, like that kind of stuff. So I think we need to cut Drew a little slack on this one.
No, but that's what I'm saying. It was just like, oh, excuse me. He just like didn't know that we don't necessarily say those things, but he was trying. He was trying, and it was great. And Grandma has pictures.
Mm.
Goody. Love a good walk down memory lane.
Goody.
Oh boy.
Like,
Joy.
oh, Grandma, you're busting out the photo album. Joy. Yeehaw.
Well, and again, the mother says the wrong things, and she gets the pictures. The first thing she says is, "Oh, you made that," or "Look
You
how
were
pretty,
so pretty as a girl.
like such a pretty girl," or something like that. Which, no, no, period. Don't say that. But also at this point, as we were expressing, that Adam's just come out as looking like Gracie and acting like Gracie, and sorry, air quotes, Gracie. And at that point, I guess she's acting like Adam doesn't exist and
Yeah, they talk
nothing's
about
ever
them
happened.
like two different people, which is just like, girly, same person, always been the same person, just new name. Like, it's not that hard. Like, anyway, yeah, it's really like a defining moment in the episode, and yeah, it's really not pleasing to watch. Michaela, take it.
Yeah. So after this dinner, Adam ends up returning to Degrassi as Gracie, which I think is shocking to everybody. And Bianca has the nerve to say that you make an ugly girl, which I was like, Bianca, you can just leave. You can just leave.
Bianca
I just
also
Just
can't.
not,
called
actually.
Adam
Like,
a loser.
You can just not be there. Thanks. Bye. Like, I really don't need you to do this. You're
Like,
the
what the fuck
you
is
you
she-
started this whole thing. I don't need you to start this. Like, I just don't need you to continue. You just need to leave. Just leave.
Like, if
Bye.
her and I actually wanted to get into like an actual fight on these school grounds, like, post up, sis. Meet me at the basketball hoops. Like, try me.
But yeah, so anyways, Anna is back in ballroom class as Gracie, and in order to pass the class, ends up dancing with the teacher as Gracie, which is a whole different thing, and it's just, I feel like it's almost weird to watch. Like, I can't explain it,
Mhm.
but like I think it's because we see Adam as Adam, and then we see how much Adam is hurting putting on this front as Gracie, and it's a whole thing. And I feel I feel uncomfortable, which is what I'm supposed to feel, but like it's one of those like I don't know how to feel moments. Does anybody else feel that way, or is it just me?
Yeah.
Oh, absolutely.
Also, throughout the episode, everyone says, like, the mom specifically, but she's like, but what about me? How am I supposed to adjust to this? And it's like, it's not about you! It literally is not fucking about you. And she's like, but what about my child? And I'm like, they're still your child, sweetie.
Yeah.
Last time I
Oh my
checked,
god, my
it still came
child's
out of-
died. Like, it's like my child's gone. I don't have a child anymore. It's like, no, your kid's still there. Like, calm down.
It still came out of your coochie last time I checked.
But I think that's important to touch on in the fact that there are a lot of people who feel that, you know, it's their, they need to accept it. It's their, like, it's important about them, and it's all about them, and make it all about them. And I think that we see this in kind of the beginning part of when we meet Miss Torres and talking about Miss Torres. I think we see that kind of, she's the one who, she feels that she's lost a child, and so she's the one who is like, I can't get over this, I'll never get over this kind of thing, versus really caring about what Adam feels at this point.
Like, people are all inherently, like, selfish, where you think about how other things are going to affect you before you think about how things actually affect people who are affected by the things that you're worried about being affected by. You know, like,
Yeah.
no one in this show really thinks about how Adam feels about anything in this regard. But all they can think about is, oh, I've lost a daughter. Oh, I don't know what I'm going to do anymore because this person isn't who I thought they were. You know, like, I can't be this person's friend. Like, that's all that's going on in their brains. There's barely any acceptance.
Yeah.
Or even just inquiry. Barely any questioning.
Query.
Yeah, I'm a teacher. What's good?
I'll be here all night, folks. Piggybacking off of other people.
DJ's just in like a weird mood because it's super.
I've hit the delirious stage, because my body knows I have hot Cheetos downstairs, so I'm like, but like I do really want to be here in that podcast.
Anyways, continue.
So fuck y'all. I'm gonna go get my food. It's been great. No.
No.
Ew, I sound like a terrible person. I'm not a terrible person. The people listening to this are like, wow, DJ's an ass. And it's like,
The good thing
you
is
are
I can
correct.
edit this, so I can make you look better. It's fine.
Why would you do that?
It's like in every episode. Oh my gosh, I'm not kidding. I don't think there's been one episode where I haven't had to cut out something that DJ said because I'm like, DJ's gonna get completely canceled.
Okay, I'm not out here like saying the N word. It's just like
No, it's not
you
anything
made
bad
it
like that.
sound
It's
rough.
just no. It's not anything like that. It's like you'll say something about like a specific thing that we're talking about, and I'll like listen back and I'm like, this could get twisted really badly. I don't think I should keep this in, and then I'll just be like,
Okay, just because I said I don't think Giselle Lullaby.
oh my god, I cut that entire thing out.
No, yeah, but people are assholes. Like it. Also, like just a quick PSA: if someone is like transitioning, like using like different pronouns, please Google what and what not to say, because some of y'all
Simple Google search. That's all it is.
really.
It's very
you have
easy.
Google, you have Wi-Fi, and if you don't, go down to your local Starbucks or fast food joint. Like they have Wi-Fi. Just educate yourselves, please. Cause
Yes, that's the key point. Educate yourself. That
And
right
remember also that it's not up to trans people to educate you about trans
I was
people.
just about to say that.
period.
Like educate yourself. Your own person, not
Yourself is
don't,
the key word here. Educate yourself. Period. Yeah, so after this ballroom situation, Adam ends up, trigger warning for everybody. I said trigger
Big
warning in
trigger
our
warning.
intro. This is a big trigger warning for self-harm, so please understand that there is a big trigger warning in here for self-harm. Anyways, Adam goes and is sitting on the bench outside of the school and takes a lighter and the barrette that was in his hair and ends up using it to burn himself, which he says
Georgia court.
which he said that he did when he was Gracie because it helped with the pain. So Claire comes over and catches Adam harming himself and is like, what's going on? And jumps in and is a really good friend in this moment. And I think the conversation between the two of them is incredible because Adam basically expresses that he thinks everything would be easier if he was still Gracie. And Claire says, but you're not. And kind of reminds him that he needs to do what makes him happy and not what makes everybody else happy, which is what he was trying to do. And I think that it's a really beautiful moment between the two of them. And she also helps him go and get changed into a different outfit and, you know, make him more into himself, which I think is a beautiful, lovely Claire moment. We love Claire.
Claire is the one character that I'm like, all right, I can roll with this.
Claire has always been a G. Like she's been great the whole time. Like Claire and Adam were the best of friends throughout all the seasons. Like they really
I can't believe they're in the same grade.
For sure. Yeah, so anyway, so this happens, and after we go through this lovely moment, Adam gets into the car with his mother and turns to her and says, when you look at me, do you see a boy or a girl? Which is like, I think that was like a very big moment for Adam. Like, you know, kind of saying to his mom, like, you need to tell me what's going on because I can't handle this anymore. And I thought it was very well written in the way of how the conversation goes down, because obviously you see that the mom obviously says that, you know, she sees a girl, and Adam expresses the fact that he said goodbye to Gracie a long time ago and that she never did. And she never had that grieving process or whatever it is that you would call it, I guess. And that she needs to kind of get on that train because, like, it's not going to change. Which I thought was a very good standing up moment for Adam.
And again, I mean, I'm repeating the same things because I'm just like trying to hammer it into these fictional people's heads, their characters. But it's like the mom is like, I didn't have that time to let go, and it's like, let go of what? Like, I swear to God, I'm gonna strangle this woman, and I'm gonna go to Canadian jail. So that's gonna be fun.
It's super interesting, like, from our perspective, though, because, like, we all think that way, you know? And it's so funny. We're all like, I don't get it. Like, I just don't physically get how people can't just get it. That was such a convoluted way of saying it, but you know,
like, what is so hard? Like, really, like when you see like fucking protesters or just homophobia, it's like, especially online, like you took the time to sit there and type in your fucking shit and press set, like proofread. Some of these people don't proofread. Some of these people, the shit's barely even legible, and I'm like, did a caveman write this? It's like you might as well have put like pictures. Make it easier for like Leah Michelle or something. But it's like people take the time. It's like, wow, that's fine. You went to Joanne. You bought yourself a cardboard. You bought yourself that paint. And it's just like, I don't understand. I really don't. Like, what is so hard? Like, also, it's other people. Like, it's hard when you're like, it's a family dynamic. But like, it's other people. Like, why do you care?
Yeah.
Anyway.
But yeah, so I think that kind of knocks some sense into Adam's mom after that conversation, because the next scene that we go to, and kind of the last scene that we go to, is Adam, Claire, and Eli are having a bonfire to burn the clothes and say goodbye to Gracie once and for all. And we see Drew walking in the background, and both of Adam's parents are there as well, which I think was a very big like circle moment of finally them coming to realize that this is what it is. This is what it is. The end. Like nothing's gonna change it, and this is what's gonna make Adam happy. Ends up bringing the clothes to the bonfire that Adam wore at the dinner, and they end up burning the clothes. And they actually end up giving Adam the picture of him when he was younger that the grandma had found, and expecting him to burn it. And he actually ends up not burning it and says, "It's still me," which I think was a really good way to end it, in saying, like, just because he transitioned doesn't mean that he's a different person. Like, if that makes
Period.
sense. Like,
The thief.
yes,
There you go.
you know what I
right?
mean? Like, period. Point blank,
There you
period.
go.
The end. End of the Degrassi essay. Thank you so much. Yeah. But I thought that was a beautiful moment at the end there, with the family kind of coming in, finally supporting him and who he is, which, we don't get to see all the time. So I thought it was beautiful.
And it's nice to see that we're not talking about other episodes, but in episodes after this, the support continues. It never wavers. After this point, they're like there for the long haul, which I really like to see.
Yeah,
Speaking
exactly.
of episodes after
I
this.
was about to say, so I know that one big thing that Stony wanted to talk about is something that was very controversial with Adam's character.
Beep, beep, bitch.
So we're just gonna say this now. Spoiler warning for the future story arc of Adam Torres in Degrassi. But I'm gonna give the floor to Stony so that Stony can explain what happens to Adam's character and why it was controversial.
Okay, I have a lot of feelings about this, but first I'm going to start just explaining a general idea. So, now all the details surrounding what happened, I cannot quite remember. So if you want to fill anything in for me, please do. I'll just give the basic ending. So there was a situation at the ending of an episode where Adam is driving his vehicle, and he is driving down a dirt road, kind of bumpy. There's lots of trees around him, and he's texting. And they decide within the last 2 minutes of the episode to kill him off. Bye, Adam. And then do a PSA about texting and driving. And that is the end of Adam's story. Now, a lot of characters in Degrassi get killed off. Don't get me wrong. But the reason this one irks me the most is because Adam, at this point in his journey on Degrassi, he's in grade 12. He's about to graduate. He's about to move on into his adult life. A lot of characters from Degrassi continue to be on Degrassi after they graduate and look as into them getting to be adults. Now, Adam was such a key character that he could and should have been one of those characters that you saw grow into adulthood. But this is a theory, which I don't think has been confirmed, but I think is correct, is that the producers saw Adam and went, there's no way that we can showcase this guy transitioning fully and being a man on testosterone being played by a woman who is not trans, Jordan Totesi, right? And so they decided to kill him off in a PSA to just mitigate any type of issues that could have arisen with this. Now, if I might continue just to speak for one more second, the reason this irks me so much is because, like, obviously this was in, 2018? 2015?
2020. Well, what did we say? 2012 was when 10
2015
happened.
then.
That'll be 2015.
Yeah, so 2015, I understand the ideas about, like, being transgender and all that kind of stuff wasn't quite what it is today, but due to killing off Adam at this point in the show, it basically just showcased the idea that you need to be on hormones to be trans, and if you aren't on hormones, you're not trans. So there's no way you can be a transgender person like Adam without being on hormones. And that really bugged me. Even as a person who's on hormones, no, transgender people don't need to be on hormones to be trans. That's not what it means. So yeah, that's kind of my spiel about that episode and about the ending. And once again, it's not confirmed. It's just weird. So a lot of people on the internet have talked about this episode, and these have been the conclusions they have come to, and I stand by them. And it bothers me.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I also get it.
Well, yeah, I mean, I kind of feel the same way. I was kind of at the point, I think in the story, Adam was finally getting like a good storyline. We had like a situation happening where, he was happy, he was with
Yeah,
someone,
the girlfriend.
it was exactly, and we had just had that kind of moment. And then it felt like it was just abrupt. Like it was just like all of a sudden they were like, nope, we're just not going to do this anymore. We're not going to write
Yes,
for him
yeah.
anymore.
Nice having fun.
And I feel like
Yeah,
I feel
right.
like not in the defense of the producers, because I honestly don't think that Adam should have died, but in the defense of the producers a little bit. I've noticed that when a character, in their eyes, when a character has had a storyline that they feel like they can't beat the storyline or they can't go anywhere else with the storyline, that's when they either kill them off or send them to school.
Yeah.
Somewhere far away. That's always been how it's been, especially on Degrassi, and those kind of things too. But it didn't make sense at this point, in my opinion. I felt like we were just starting to get there with Adam's story, that it didn't make sense for them to just explain.
Yeah. And if I might add on top of that too, this also really plays into the trope, the general trope in history of trans people, of like just like the tragic queer story, like all these queer people dying all the time. Why can't they have a happily ever after? Why can't
Literally,
Adam
I
go to
was like,
school? What's wrong with that? Like,
yeah.
Right? Literally.
In every single series, it's like the queer people, especially the trans people, it's like they either kill themselves or they like get in a horrible car accident.
exactly.
And it's
Tragedy.
like, really, people, like, come the fuck on. I know it's 2015 and we're not necessarily being radical, but like, come on. Also, I found it really interesting that, like, when I learned that Adam was not played by a trans actor,
Mhm.
because I was like, what's the tea with that? And Michaela was like we were going back and forth, and we kind of came to the thing that's like, well, like, someone might not have been comfortable playing both parts of Gracie and Adam.
That's tea.
But also, I feel like you could have found someone that was. I don't know.
Well, but here's the thing. Again, I'm gonna not defend, but I'm gonna say in the way this was 20. What did we say? 2015. Well, when Jordan was cast, it would have been 2012 or probably 2012, 2011, maybe depending on when they filmed. Looking back at that time, you didn't see the representation that we're starting to get now with people playing, who, like, the characters being made and played by people who are either transitioning or have transitioned, or in the case of, example, I'm going back to Glee again, here we go,
Lord,
Kevin
here we
McHale,
fucking go.
who played Artie, who's in a wheelchair, was not paralyzed or was not in a wheelchair, but was playing a character, right? So for me, I feel like it wasn't widely known and shown that people who were those characters or who represented those characters were actually, like, had actually transitioned or were actors who were working as, like, it's hard to explain, but you get where I'm going with it, right?
Yeah, fully get me going with that.
But I also think it could have been, like I was saying to DJ, I also think it could have been a case of they didn't think that someone who had transitioned would feel comfortable, presenting female and then, going back and forth. And so it was much easier to cast someone who would feel comfortable doing both, if that makes sense.
I mean, if I think back to that time of my life, I mean, I also wasn't the most cultured kid, so I don't know for a fact, but I only ever saw two trans people that's two trans people in media, and one of them was a porn star, and the other one was a non-binary person who's very controversial nowadays, but that was the only queer representation I ever saw in society. So like I don't think it would really make a difference, like if I was a young trans person growing up watching this, because I wasn't out at the time that this was all out. I don't think it would make a difference to me if I knew that they were trans or not. It was just the representation itself that mattered. Because like acting itself is a job. People act as things that they aren't all the time, and that's kind of all part of the job. And yeah, we should have the representation. If we have it, it should be there. But I also agree that it wasn't there at the time. But it is now, so get queer people in our media.
Literally, please, for the love of fucking God, can we cast some queers?
Burn down the gates, like.
But yes, I feel like that's a good note to end on, us saying that, get queer representation in film and television. That'd be great. Love that for us. But yeah, I think that's...
Wait, I have one more thing I wanted to
Oh, you have one more thing to say? Okay, fine.
Sorry.
Go ahead, dude.
It also, like, it goes back to, like, but the way they were killed off, and not to say, like, there's a good way to die, but also, like, not even just a text and driving PSA, not like like
anything relevant.
Literally that, but also
Don't
at the
text
time,
and drive, kids.
at the time, texting and driving was a big killer of teens in Canada. That was like one of the biggest.
You know what else is bullying?
Wait, let me finish, DJ. I was saying something, dude. Anyways, it was actually, I think it was the like top killer in the time or whatever. And so what Degrassi does, which I think is different than majority of shows, they take what is happening now and put it into the show. So if that was the big thing that was killing teens at the time, that would have made sense for them to use it as a thing for someone's death. Did it make sense for it to be Adam's death?
Yeah,
no. But did it make sense for there to be a death from texting and driving at the time?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Still dumb.
I still want to agree with it. Still dumb. I still stand by the fact that Adam should have lived, and whatever, it's fine, whatever.
Yeah, fuck that episode. Adam lives in my heart forever. Like,
period. And I think that is a good place to end it. Anyways, Stony, we want to thank you so much for coming back on the episode. Where can everybody find you?
You can find me on Instagram. Follow me at stony.mac. That's STONY.MAC.
Yes.
Do you have anything up and coming that we can be on, like, the lookout for?
Well, if I might share a little personal news in my life, I had a lot up and coming for me, but I've had to scrap it all because I'm getting top surgery next week. I learned today. Yeah, so my whole beginning of June. Bye-bye. Like,
just in time for Pride, too.
Just in time.
Yay!
Yeah, so it's a little sad I've had to cancel some of my Pride stuff, but, like, I'm so excited. This is going to be phenomenal.
That's so exciting. Oh my gosh.
I love that.
Yay!
So in other words, you won't be hearing anything from me in the next little bit, actually.
That's okay. I'm so happy for you. That's awesome.
Thanks, Beth.
Yay! Oh, I love that. Oh my gosh. Yay.
Yeah.
Well,
oh my god,
yeah.
I'm so excited. Holy shit. I love hearing people just like accomplish like everything. Just that sounds so like peace and love, but just like
oh my god, no! This has been such an accomplishment. Like it's taken like years to get to this point. So,
yes, all right. But yes, we would like to thank you so much for coming back on the podcast, and we hope that everything that you do in your career and your life makes you happy and is successful for you.
That's such a sweet thing to say. Oh my god. Do you say that to all your guests? Because that's heartwarming.
I said it backwards too, but it still came out, so it's okay.
So I got an original one then. Oh,
you did.
Thank you.
All right, thank you.
Hey all, it's editor Michaela here, just popping in to let you guys know that we actually forgot to film an outro for this episode. I don't know how we managed to do that, but we did. So I just quickly wanted to pop in and say that I hope that you guys all have a wonderful, fantastic, amazing week, day, month, whatever. If you would like to follow us on our socials are our Instagram is We Are So Not Straight Pod. Our TikTok is also We Are So Not Straight Pod. Our YouTube channel is We Are So Not Straight Podcast. That is where you can find all the videos from season 1, season 2, and season 3 of the podcast. We have some really great interviews on there, and we're trying to get more people checking it out. So please go over there, subscribe, comment, like, do all the things on there. That would be really appreciated because we would just love for you to, interact with us on there. I also forgot to mention that our Twitter is Not Straight Pod. Yeah. If you have any questions, comments, concerns, fits of rage, or suggestions, you can email us at wearesonotstraight@gmail.com. And all of this information will be down in the show notes below. Like I just said before, I hope that everybody has a absolutely fantastic, amazing day, month, year, or whatever time zone you are in. And please make sure that you are taking care of yourself. This is your daily reminder to take your meds, drink water, and get enough sleep because that is very important. Okay, I think that about covers it. So, yeah, we will see you next week. Bye.